So Brian was one of our walk-ups,
Oh, okay.
and he's actually on his way to your shelter.
Okay.
So I don't know, you won't be greeting him apparently. Right now somebody else is going to be there to greet. But he shared what it was like, his story, what it was like to be homeless. And one of the things he shared with us is that he's supposed to be on, because he had a stroke, he was supposed to be on this blood pressure medicine.
Right.
And he's out. And so I told him about the free clinic.
Okay.
And that, but I said, you need to let somebody know when you walk in, let James know that his priority for tomorrow
Yes.
is to deal with that.
Okay.
So
thank you for the information.
So if you could direct, I don't know if you'll be there, who will be there, but someone can remind him or direct him.
I will
resources.
walk over there right after this.
Okay.
And I'll just talk to the shelter leads.
All right. So yeah.
We'll get her.
So yeah. So okay. So let me repeat. I've been having to repeat this a lot because new people kind of come on, go off. But so I'm Craig Vincent. I'm the director of Bridge Street Mission, and this is Conversations on a Bench. And we're one of 70 missions around the country that are doing this, committed to being on this bench for 24 hours and having unscripted conversations with people around the issue of homelessness. So I'm actually being joined now by James Torstenson.
Torstenson, yes.
I always have trouble saying that last
okay,
name
it's
a little
long.
bit. There's an extra S in there somewhere, I think. But James is actually the shelter director of the WMC shelter, which is the shelter that the police department, with help from the county, is running temporarily until
Yes.
a more permanent solution can be in place. And we're hoping that more permanent solution will be at the Bridge Street Mission campus.
There we go.
So James is the one who's really with people on a nightly basis, the people that are experiencing homelessness in our community. So he's a very good person to have on the bench to talk, because he's meeting our homeless neighbors face to face pretty much every day. So I've heard this story, but why don't we repeat it for the others? How is it you ended up in that role? Because that's not what you went to college for.
I did not go to college for that. Well, in all practicality, for the last 40 years, I've been a professional electrical engineer. And just a couple of years ago, I decided I wanted to go into social work. So I went to the UW campus, and I started into the social work career. Supported fully by my company, who let me use all of their equipment during the day to actually go online to do this. So I shout out to my company also that they were so understanding and excited about my new journey. Mm-hmm. Once I graduated, basically in May, I immediately started at the shelter. I had gone to the police department, or I had put my application in, fully thinking that they would not want anything to do with me, because here's this new social work guy, never been out in the field, no experience. What would I have to offer them? And Tracy Durante and Captain Seiler both accepted me in and put me down as one of the shelter leads at WMC shelter.
All right, so an engineer.
An engineer, yes.
An engineer. So couple thoughts there.
Okay.
First of all, my experience with engineers is that they are very detailed and on top of things. So that's
right.
So I don't see that as far of a jump in a lot of ways, because
Sure.
there are a lot of moving pieces to keep organized.
Yes.
And personalities and things like that. And
Right.
so why don't you talk a little bit on what it's been like to actually run a shelter
Well, like you said, an engineer is a critical thinker. We're always trying to think ahead. What's the risk? What's the reward? How can we make this a better place? Engineers are problem solvers in general. And in this case, I mean, we're talking about people. We're not talking about things that are you can fix. It's fixing someone is not what we do at the shelter. And so when I came into the shelter, I realized pretty quickly that these are all individual people. And if I can go backwards just
Yes,
a
please.
moment, I was actually, as an engineer, I was afraid of the homeless. If I had to leave work at night, I was afraid, well, let's see, I'm walking down this dark street. I hope I don't meet any homeless people.
Okay.
And that's a terrible thing to say.
Well, if in all honesty, people out listening, watching, most people who haven't had proximity, all right,
Yep.
would have that same feeling.
Right. So, I lived that life for a long time. And, but going in and becoming a shelter lead and getting to know these people, it was just, it gave me a passion. It gave me a passion for them and what they're going through. There's many nights, especially at the beginning, that I would just come home and the sadness that I felt for a lot of the people, the compassion, I guess, empathy for them was so great. It was kind of hard to take. But in the same way, they've taught me a lot. They don't want me to be sorry for them. They, right now, what they want and need is encouragement and hope. I think of Jeremiah 29:11. That's my wife's favorite verse, by the way. And it talks about a future and a hope. And we don't need, they know what they've done. They've known how they've gotten there. Some, under circumstances that are pretty normal. Some, were addicted to something. But they have, a lot have lost hope that things will ever be better again. I don't know how many times I've been down the floor talking with somebody that says, why me? Why am I here right now? And it brings, it just brings to light how important hope is in this world. That's what I try to do. When I drive into the shelter, it's about 15 minutes. And I have to put myself aside and really focus on going into that shelter and talking with the people there. They need that sense of hope. But in the same way, when they're out on the street, just like we're out in the street and we're running our day, and there's drama and there's all these things going on. You know what I mean? It becomes overwhelming to us. A lot of them have that same experience. It's out on the street. There's drama. There's things happening around them. Recognizing that, that job opportunity didn't come through. That housing thing, they wouldn't accept me. The things that just, are bring people down, thinking that, I'm not good enough. And for the shelter, the first thing is when they come in, we want to give them that sense that just leave that out on the street.
Okay.
Leave it on the street. When you come in here, we want you to be safe. We want you to be secure. We want you to have a good meal. We want you to have a good sleep. So that you're ready for tomorrow. So that's part of my goal, is just to kind of facilitate that for them.
Okay. Okay. So I want to explore, because I think for people who are service providers, but let's talk about how you, because you're dealing with people in pain and hurt,
Yes.
and there's a reality is you can't solve all their problems.
Yes.
All right. So how do you manage that part of the job where you have to leave and not everyone was a success story? Not everybody came
Right.
out okay.
Yep.
How do you personally kind of process kind of working in a field where we're excited to see success stories, but the reality is sometimes there's more failure and pain than there is
Absolutely.
success. So talk through that with me.
I was actually at church one morning for a Bible study, and one of the fellows there was a school counselor, and I said to him, you know, this and this was happening, and I feel so bad about it, and I don't know what to, you know, it was sort of the, you know, I want to do more. And he looked at me and said, you can't do anything about their past, but you can be a bright spot. You can be an encouragement at that moment.
Oh, that's great.
You know, and that really hit me. That really made me realize that any moment that we can give, and we can give joy, we can give encouragement, we can give them something to grow on, something to appreciate. Really is what we can do at any one time in life, and we do that daily in life for people.
Good. Yeah, that's good perspective. I was kind of, when I was younger, I didn't always give really kind answers. and people would, and when they found out what I did, I was working in a setting with urban youth, you know, and in Cleveland, lots of kids from gangs, different situations, difficulties, things like that. And people would listen to what I was doing, and they really didn't understand. And they would make that statement that, well, that must be so rewarding, you know. And kind of in my immaturity, I would say, you know, I have more people in penitentiary than college.
Yeah.
You know, because you often see people struggle, you know.
Right.
But no, I loved your answer there. Is that yeah, you can't fix all their past.
No.
You know, but hopefully you can be that bright spot. And then hopefully, too, we can, you use the word hope.
Absolutely.
You know, that maybe we can give them hope for a future, and then maybe even some specific tools. I mean, at least that's our desire at Bridge Street Mission, is you engage them at the point of need,
Right.
but then you make things available, and then you incentivize those things, and you encourage those things, so you can get them walking down that path, so that then make their past change, but at least their future could be different. So, okay, so walk us a little bit through a little bit more about what you do involves. You've shared some things with me. I mean, I think we all understand. Actually, Brian described. I go in, I change into the clothes, we go eat.
Yep.
Then we have to wait for that smoking break, which is hard because right after you eat, you want to smoke. And then we go and we play cards and read, and we go to sleep. You know, so he talked us through from that side of it.
Okay.
But why don't you, from the provider side of it, walk us through, you know, what's it like to be in a shelter? What's the process in some ways?
You know, one of the things, like I said, when they walk in from a provider standpoint, my thought is that we need to slow them down. And my wife keeps threatening she's going to give me a t-shirt that says slow down,
I've heard you use
and
that
stay
word
calm.
before. Yes. And how important that. Why is that so critical? Why help our listeners
Sure,
really understand
sure.
why do we have to slow them down?
We, the being out on the street is you need to be a rapid thinker out on the street, and they're out, they're looking around, they're making sure that they've got what they need. They live by a different time scale. They live on, where am I going to go next for a meal? Where am I going to be able to put my head down? Where am I going to be able to rest? Where am I going to go that someone's not going to kick me out? So you're talking about a different time scale, and when you come into shelter, it means that you're coming into a environment where that thought process can be slowed down so that they can start to think on a bigger scale, on a larger scale. It's not like they walk in and they're going, geez, I wonder if they'll have a cot for me.
Right.
And so we do that right away. We assign the cots, we assign a place to sleep, and then we get them to sit down and then eventually go downstairs to our tote room where they do change over. But even that, like I tell the volunteers are so great. They really are the backbone of the organization.
I will have to say, I will have to say one of my walk-up conversations was a woman that says, we volunteer there. When you guys open the shelter, are we going to be able to volunteer there too? And my answer was yes.
Oh, that's great. So they are really a backbone to it, and they understand that, when people come in, they're already kind of hyped up because of the day, and it's like you coming home at the end of the day. You don't want to have an emergency going on. And
right. Yeah.
So.
Well, and I guess I want to point out that's a survival.
Yes.
You have to have that level of alertness, that level of consciousness, that level for purely survival purposes. But then when you get in the group setting of a shelter, if you're going to survive in that setting, you have to change.
Right.
Because if you stay at that level of defensiveness and that level, then you're not going to fit well into the shelter. So you're actually,
Yes.
there's a way to survive in the street, and then you have to flip the switch a little bit to survive in the shelter.
Right.
Basically, if that makes sense.
It does, because that's exactly when I talk about, driving in and calming my mind and body from the day. It's exactly what I need for them to do when they're coming out the street, because it's a different. I want it to be a different environment. I want it to be a calm.
Okay.
I want them to understand that they are in a safe setting, and that we are going to make sure that setting is safe so that they can have a good meal and they can have a good night's rest. Doesn't always happen.
Okay. Yeah.
And that makes it hard. But we've got a lot of good volunteers. Like I said, we've got a great bunch of staff down in the shelter, and it makes a difference. It's the bringing each person. And let me give you an example, because I love this. I watched as one of our shelter advocates, as we call them. I had told them, well, this person over here is having a hard time. Could you check on them? And immediately, and this is learning for me, immediately they went over and they knelt down by the person's bed and they said, hey, I'm going to be here till midnight tonight. If you need anything, I'm the person to come see. And it was, so much knowledge with each of these individuals, and so I took that on myself, and to make sure that they knew if they were struggling, that I would be there for them, that they could come in and see me. these are the kinds of things that just are, I don't know, critical to the feeling of being safe, of being secure.
Yeah.
I'm not solving any problems there necessarily, but I am giving them hopefully a peaceful night.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of there's times we sit down, and one of the gentlemen over here, I've sat down with him before, and we've just kind of talked, and
Yeah.
because what is it? It's listening.
Yeah. So let's talk practically for a minute.
Yes, okay.
So let's talk about numbers,
Okay.
because that's a question that we get a lot. Well, how many people are homeless in Wausau anyway? Because it's hard to imagine that many people in the cold climate could actually be homeless. So what are the numbers that you see at the shelter?
At the shelter, we range from probably about 47 up to like 65, 70.
Okay.
And
Why does it fluctuate?
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I wish I had that answer, because
Okay.
it would help me. It's good to.
And are you seeing different people? Are you seeing the same people?
We're seeing different people each night, and there's a regular group that always come, or at least most of the time come. But we're seeing new ones come in, and others that are getting housed and going to other places. So, but it is a challenge in that respect, with that many people coming in, to really, I guess for me, I feel like sometimes I can't do my job adequately, because I do, if I see someone that's struggling, my natural inclination is to go over to them.
Oh, yes.
So there's always that, and you're trying to make sure that everyone is in the best state that they can be in
Yes.
at any one time.
Okay. So if you would say, what is the most important thing for a person experience, or a person to someone who maybe just, well, I know there's homeless people, but I don't really know what it's like, or what's the most important thing that you would want from your experience now learning the homeless community, becoming an expert? By the way, you're an expert now. All right, because you're in proximity with people. You're in proximity.
Yes.
That's how
Yes.
you get to know people.
I love doing it.
So, but what would be what would you feel the most important thing that you need to communicate people who maybe don't have that proximity, don't have that understanding, that you would want them to know about people experiencing homelessness?
I guess there's a couple of things. One is a quote that I've always heard: to know and not do is to not know.
Okay.
We all recognize, or at least the majority of the population recognize, that we have a homeless problem.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
So, along with that, people don't know, well, we have a homeless problem, but I'm really not the solution, or I'm not going to do anything about it. And what I would really suggest is that they come out and volunteer, at least at our shelter. We are, the staff, myself, are there to make sure they understand what they should and shouldn't do, because these are individuals that have hit on hard times, and we need to just reach out. We need to be able to reach out to them, and honestly, volunteering really does give that feeling of understanding. It gives that, it's a lot of times makes a person feel better.
Okay. Good. Yeah. All right. And so, if somebody wanted to volunteer at WMC Shelter,
Yes.
How do they do that?
Okay. The best thing to do is contact Tracy Durante.
Okay.
And
Through
they
the police department?
Through the police department.
Okay.
And talk to her, and she can line up a time for them to either tour the shelter or to actually, be placed in a position at the shelter. Nobody is alone.
Yeah.
Nobody is alone in the shelter. It's not, and it's not. Maybe some people feel like it's scary.
Yes. Okay.
It's not. These are people that you're going to learn to love.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for saying that way. So again, as we mentioned with some of the other agencies that were here, if at any of these agencies, if people want to get involved and volunteer, you can do that. You can reach out to the police department about the MC shelter, Bridge Street Mission. I have a volunteer. I actually have a volunteer coordinator. Her name's Donna. Is there every Thursday that can plug you into opportunities at our place. But also reach out to Northern Valley. You've heard about ways that you can get involved in there earlier, and Community Partners Campus, who was on site earlier on the bench as well. So James, we're going to move on to other interviews, but thank you, and I look forward to having way more interaction with you for years to come.
Sounds great.
All right, thank you.